Hey there guys, in this video I'm going to be showing off my more advanced build for the Astilla. It's a crit build and is, as you can see, a little more different to my other build, my other Astilla build I did. Main reason being, it's a crit build, a little more different than a status build. So, yeah, I'm just going to show it off. I quite like this build. This is probably this is a more viable build to use for high level play, like sorties and kind of stuff. Mainly because it uses more advanced mods like Prime Ravage, Prime Point Blank, Hunter Munition, and I think there's another one which I have on, which is kind of hard to get. Oh, Hellfire, that's another one I have. That's the other one. But they're more advanced mods, a little harder. Not every single player is gonna have them. But again, saying that, you can switch out Prime Ravage and Prime Point Blank with the normal mods, the normal version of those mods. But again, saying that, Prime Ravage or the normal Ravage is kind of hard to get in general. I think the only way you can really get it is from doing Void, going to the Void and opening up specific caches. So it is kind of a hard one to get in general. But again, if you do have it, you could easily switch out Prime Ravage if you don't have it. And yeah, that's against the mod. The actual build, I mean. Show the mods off. So let's talk. Well, I'll first talk about the stats that I've changed. As you can see, I haven't changed the critical chance because I think the critical chance is fine enough. It procs enough for it not to be something I need to really change, and I think it's a lot more worth it to put mods in that change the like shotgun spaz and ammo stock to increase the fire rate and the ammo size, because if you're firing more often and you're firing for longer, I feel like changing the critical chance isn't really that much of it doesn't really matter that much, because you're already firing massive amounts of mods into, or massive amounts of damage into enemies, and I feel like the critical chance at this point is already good enough, so I haven't changed it. Again, you could switch out Hunter Munitions with what is it called, with Blunderbusk, which increases the critical chance, but I feel like the Hunter Munitions is still I feel like Hunter Munitions is a lot more valuable to the player, because again, it can do massive amounts of damage, and I feel like Hunter Munitions work really well with this kind of playstyle, this kind of weapon. I think it works really well with an area effect weapon where it can do this it basically do heaps of hits onto an enemy, and especially with shotgun spaz and ammo stock, where it's going to make it so that you're firing a lot more into an enemy. I feel like Hunter Munitions works really well with this. And I think it just in this kind of environment, it's very good. So that's why I've used Hunter Munitions. You can put on Blunderbuss, increase the critical chance to about 32.3%. But again, I prefer Hunter Munitions. So you can do whatever you want, but I would recommend Hunter Munitions if you haven't. If you don't have Hunter Munitions, Blunderbuss is a very viable replacement. I've increased the critical multiplier, obviously with Prime Ravage. Again, with the normal Ravage, just let me go find it for you. I think it gets to around 2. It's not really that higher. It's like maybe a little, actually maybe like 2.8. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, or to about 3. So, Prime Ravage at this level isn't really that much. You can probably former it one more time, and you can make it so that it takes a little more, and you can probably increase that its level. Again, this build is a 2 former build. But yeah, you can probably if you are going to go over this build, I would obviously put on my Dura thing here, so it takes away, it basically halves the most capacity, because this one right here at this current point in time with this build, with the exact placements of all the I don't know exactly what they're called, but little symbol things on here. Prime Ravage is the one that has the most if you have it at this level, and if you do, that means you can increase level and it won't affect it that much. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the critical multiplier. Again, you're doing heaps of damage, very good. And yeah, it's pretty much not really much to talk about for the critical multiplier. Magazine I've increased to 26. I've also increased the fire rate to 6.93. Both very good. You just fire the fire speed for this weapon is ridiculous. It's amazing. Again, as you can see, my shotgun spaz is only level 3. It still fires ridiculously fast. The reason I put it down is because I didn't the speed of it was just way too much for me. And even with this fire rate, you still go through your mag really quickly, and that's one problem with this build, is the how quickly you go through the ammo. If you have a carrier, it should be fine. But again, even with the carrier, I've been in battle and I've been fighting and I've still run out of ammo. So just keep that in mind. And now I'm just gonna quickly show off the fire speed, and just look at that. It's amazing. It fires extremely fast. It's very good. And again, as you can see, you go through ammo really quickly. It's very fast again with the extra bullet speed. I mean, extra mag size. You're going to be able to fight for longer. And I like this quite a lot. That's the one thing I really like about this build is the fire rate speed. Again, you can see that the reload is kind of slow. You can upgrade that if you want, but I feel like it's more worth it to just increase that, because I feel like in my opinion, the reload speed is doable. It's okay. I don't mind it. Sometimes it is kind of annoying. I want it to reload faster, but in my opinion, it's fine. And you can change if you want, but I'm okay with the fire rate. Well, no, with the fire rate, the reload of it right now. Yeah, I would recommend leveling this up any higher, because let me switch this out right now and put on, where is it? Shotgun Spaz. There you go. I'll put on the full one right now and show how fast it fires. Like, it fires this fast. Like, you go through ammo very quickly. And I just felt like that was way too fast for me. I don't really like it like that fast, this kind of weapon. And I kind of like it at a more slower speed, a lot more doable speed, because most of the time when I was using this, it would jolt up very quickly, so long range is ridiculous, very hard, and I also found that I was firing more than 1 or 2 bullets into the enemy when they're already dead, because you just fire so quickly. And because it fires so quickly, once you figure out that the enemy's dead, once you see that the enemy has died, you've already fired off like 2 or 3 extra shots already, because it just fires so quickly. So I kind of just like it having it level 3 speed, and also it kind of goes with the build. Everything can fit, and I can put in prime ravage as well. So let's find it quickly. There you go. Push that one out and put on prime ravage. There you go. Switch out this. There you go. I'll also increase the stash chance to about 15.86. I felt that the only reason this has been increased is because. See, why has this been increased? I have no idea why this has been increased. Ah, makes sense now. Okay, I never knew that. Hell's Chambers. I'm a new player, so like I'm not a new player, but I'm a pretty new player. So I didn't know that. I didn't know Hell's Chamber actually increases the status. That's really good. That's something that makes Hell Chambers even more worth having it on here. But the status has been increased. Very good. It helps out with the use of me having corrosive on. And yeah, it makes it proc a lot more. But again, I don't really have corrosive here for the actual I don't have corrosive here for the proc. I have it here for the extra damage it adds on to and yeah, it's pretty much the only reason I have it here. And yeah, as you can see, with prime point blank and Hell's Chamber, it is tripled massive damage here, and same with the corrosive. And yeah, this weapon is higher in higher in slash. That's probably the reason why some people like it, because it's so high in slash. And yeah, nothing else to talk about. I think I talked about corrosive just before. So yeah, you can already see what the mods are here. So I have these two on. So basically, because the reason I have these two versions of the reason I have charged shell and corrosive spray is because it gives it basically gives you the most corrosive you can get. So, and as I was talking about before, I have corrosive here for the damage, so that means having the most corrosive on it means I'm going to be doing the most damage. So that's why I have these two on here. I have Hell's Chambers to pretty much just, as you just saw before, Hell's Chambers is really good. It increases status pretty much more than doubles, the damage here, and it's just really good. I like Hell's Chamber, very good. Prime point blank, I have that as well to basically increase damage and all that kind of stuff. Very good. I think it's the exact. Yeah, so it's a little higher. It's about 30 higher. That's usually the level I normally have it at. But you can prime point blank should be fine. It'll just the damage will just be a little less. It won't be as amazing when using normal point blank. But still doable. Again, I talked about hunter munitions. Very good mod. Would recommend it. Works really well with this weapon. And these two mods really good. Very important. I like them a lot. Again, you can switch them out with maybe what else? Like, you can probably put blast in here if you want, or if you have any other like mods that increase electricity or toxin, you can put those on there as well. You can increase the reload if you want, but I like this. I like the increased fire rate and also the increased mag size. I enjoy it quite a lot. It's very fun. I quite like how this weapon is played, and yeah, I just kind of like it. This kind of build and how it changes the weapon and how you use it. And yeah, that's pretty much just me showing the mods, and that's to show off how the weapon goes. Okay, so again, I'm using 5 arid heavy gunners. I'm invulnerable as well, just to show, because you know most enemies are moving, that can be replaced. So again, that's just me firing at the ground. I already killed one. If I just fire at the ground, as you can see, again, you're not always going to get yellow, but you get yellow quite a lot. But even without that, you still fire ridiculous numbers. So it's just really good. I like the fire as well. And again, that was just for the feet. Already killed the enemies about 2 mags, so that's pretty good. There we go. Good aim at the head. The only problem is when you're aiming at the head, it might jolt off and fire off into the distance. That's the only problem. There you go. That's one. Okay, they killed all of them. I think that was 1 mag. I think it was 1 mag. I'm not 100% sure about that one though. And yeah, actually, let's have a quick test, because I think I tested that ages ago. I forgot exactly what the results were, because I've had this build for a while. I just haven't shown off, because I've been showing off other builds. Let's see what happens when we switch out hunt munitions with the critical. Okay, let's have a little quick gander. That's also pretty good. That's also pretty good. You can try that as well. Again, I like it for that. That does do more. You do a lot more damage with blunderbuss, a lot more straight out damage. But realistically, I like it in play because you can fire into the crowd, because it's an area effect weapon. You can be hitting a lot of enemies. And I fire into the crowd, and I'll be doing X damage into all the enemies, and I just like that. I kind of like hunter munitions in that kind of way, where you can fire in the crowd, you can do hits damage. But if you do want to do straight up damage, I would put blunderbuss on, and if you don't have hunter munitions, obviously I'll put blunderbuss on. But if you do like the way hunter munition works and how like you can fire into a crowd, and they will do they'll like lose damage over time. You can use hunter munitions as well. You can do that. I like hunter munitions just because of how it works and how you can just do damage after. I kind of like it for that, but you can switch it out if you want. There. See, you're like I was ready to fire them, or like it still does damage on them. Like it's just really good. Finish them off. Yeah, there you go. And yeah. Again, I quite like this weapon with Mirage. It's very good. Probably in my opinion one of the best weapons for Mirage. Just because you can just run up and just fire at their feet. Like look at this. It's just really good Mirage. I quite like using this weapon Mirage. It's one of my favorite. I saw like the Strum, this weapon, and probably the Lens. The weapons that I found the most enjoyable with Mirage. Yeah, if you have Mirage, I would recommend using it with Mirage. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you disliked it, leave a dislike. And tell me in the comments why you didn't like the video. Tell me what I've done wrong, and because the only way I can improve as a creator is if I get criticism, and because if I get criticism, I can build off that criticism, become a better creator, a better YouTuber. So tell me why you didn't like the video, and thanks for watching. See ya.